Hey everybody, welcome back. Today we are going to do a Greek style dinner. I have just over an hour to get pita bread made, some chicken patties that you see, and also some tzatziki sauce and some hummus. I didn't do the beans today. We're gonna do stuff out of a can. It makes it a lot easier. Let's go. All right, everybody. So again, my name is Audrey, and thank you so much for stopping by. Today's video I'm really excited about because we're going to be doing a lot of cooking, which is what this channel is, and then also just creating fun meals for your family. So would love to have you stick around. And so what we're doing right now to get started, I like being a little bit procedural with how I cook, especially if I'm doing a bigger meal like this with a lot of components. So the first thing that we're going to be doing is starting on the pita bread, which I can definitely post the recipe below for this. I want to get the bread going because, well, we need to actually do 2 rises with a pita bread, and it actually will end up being 2.5 rises because first I'm going to make the dough. We'll let it rise. I do have a bread proofing oven, which is really helpful. And then afterwards, once I punch it down and we form everything into balls, then we let it rise again. Then what we do is we're going to roll that out and then let them sit. And that's how you end up getting those pita pockets. And as you see later on in the video, one of the things that I've found is helpful is instead of putting the pita bread onto a flat top and having to cook it for 3 minutes on each side and having to flip them and monitor them, because honestly it ends up being sometimes a little bit more than that, a time saver that I found is to preheat my oven to 480 degrees, put as many pitas on my large baking sheet as possible, and then what we do is just stick them in the oven for 5 minutes. So it really has saved a lot of time. Now, this little contraption that I'm putting on right now is super duper helpful. It helps to control the flour that comes out, and then even if I'm making whipped cream too. So I really like having a shield on my mixer. It really is super helpful. Then also the flours that I'm using. So I'm using 2 different types of flour right now. I try and buy the organic non-GMO flour. I'm almost to the point of being able to, get and mill my own flour, but I just buy the flour right now. So the 2 different types are bread flour and regular flour. And the reasoning behind this is because of the protein content. And with the protein content, that then translates into the gluten and how stretchy all your bread will be. So that's why I kind of split it. So sometimes I'll do kind of like a 1-to-3 ratio. Sometimes I'll do just half and half. Today I actually did half and half. So we're going to let this get to mixing, and then we'll start turning the dough out and start kneading it. Okay, so the dough is coming together. Now what I'm showing you here is diastatic malt powder. What this is really good for is if you're making a big batch of bread and you have a lot of dough, this is going to help to increase the longevity and the shelf life of your bread. Because usually when you make bread from scratch, it really only lasts a day or 2, and then it starts to go stale, and then it'll start molding. What this does is it doubles and sometimes even triples, depending upon your batch, will increase the shelf life. So instead of it being a 1 to 2 day and then it being like, oh no, I either need to make bread pudding or I need to give this to the chickens, then it actually will last you on the counter, no problem, for like 3 to 4 days. So it is very helpful. I suggest if you're making bread and things of the like in batch, definitely get you some of this diastatic powder. Okay, so let's get to kneading our dough. I'm gonna do this for about 5 to 7 minutes or so, and then I'm going to put it into a greased bowl. This recipe yields 18 pitas that are approximately 6 inches in diameter, if that's helpful for you. So again, recipe, I'm gonna try to link it below. I printed it off a good while back. I really like having printed recipes because what I've often found is that when you find a really good recipe on Pinterest, sometimes it just goes away. And that's kind of frustrating. So I started just printing off my recipes, my favorite ones, or saving them to my computer. So this dough is looking really good. You want to just go back and forth and back and forth with it. Okay, next up on the list is going to be our tzatziki sauce. So I have some organic Greek yogurt from Sam's Club. I need to refill my salt. I have dill. I've got lemon juice because there's lemon juice in all different Greek dishes. I have my olive oil, and then I have the cucumber. So one of the biggest things about the tzatziki sauce is when you have your cucumber, one of the best things that you can do is actually to grate it. And so it takes a little bit extra time, but it makes all the difference instead of just putting a chopped cucumber in it. So let's go. Right, so one of the first things that we need to do is we actually need to prep the cucumber before we shred it. So of course, you want to take off the ends of it, but then what you also want to do is shave the cucumber, because the outside of the cucumber, while it's really good roughage for the digestive system, it is important if you're going to be serving it or grating it to get that extra tough skin off of there. It's really helpful to do so, because then once you start to grate it, then you're just going to get those shavings of the hard outer skin, and what we really want is the flesh of the cucumber. Right, and I'm also going to chop up an onion because we definitely need a lot of onion in our Greek dinner. It's what we're going to be using in our tzatziki sauce. It's what we're also going to be using in our salad and in our little chicken patties that we're going to make. Okay, let's start putting everything together. So I have my chopped onion, I have all of my Greek yogurt, and then as you can see at the bottom there is the cucumber. So it's not the standard cheese grater grating that we've done. It's more of that fine shaven for the cucumber, because you just want there to be just a hint. So just added some salt. Now we're going to add a little bit of dill. I do have a recipe for this, but I just started eyeballing it, and then definitely some lemon juice, and then we'll also add some olive oil. We'll mix it all together and do a little taste test, because who doesn't love doing a good taste test when they're cooking? A little fun tip for when you're making tzatziki is to let it set up for about a day. So this is going to be served within the next 30 minutes, and that's totally fine. All the flavors will come together. But really, if you're planning this out to have for a dinner party or just in the future, just a little side note is that the longer that this sits, the more the flavors meld together and the more delicious that it will be. Next up on the list is going to be to make a loaded hummus. So when I make our loaded hummus, usually I go into our pantry. If you saw my pantry video, I always buy dried chickpeas, but today I definitely didn't do that because I was gone in the morning and I didn't want to leave stuff on the stove and have to worry about adding water and so forth. So that's why I do keep beans on hand. So we're gonna do 3 cans of beans. 2 of these cans are going to be drained, and then the other one is not going to be drained all the way because you need some of that liquid. Usually we always wash off all the beans and so forth, but the liquid that's in the chickpeas actually helps to make the hummus. It's all those starches and things that are within this. So even when you're actually boiling beans on the stove, you definitely want to keep some of that reserve liquid no matter what. So I'm gonna get 2 of these cans opened, and then we have salt, lemon juice. Again, if you notice, I'm Italian, we measure olive oil in glugs, don't actually measure it. So glugging of olive oil in it, and then I'm gonna get some garlic, and I need to get my tahini out as well.
So Italians don't have measuring cups?
No, they do. I just like glugging. It just feels good.
Doesn't look cool.
Mm-hmm. So here is the tahini that I buy. I actually got it on Amazon. You can probably get this anywhere, but you can get tahini anywhere that you want. So you definitely need to make sure that when you're making your own hummus that you have tahini. Okay, here we go. Let's wash the beans.
Then you can come back. That juicy. Zoe.
Oh.
I'm gonna go get the lighter. You can't blow it out. Just wait until I say to blow it out.
We've added our beans, we've added some salt to this, and then we've also added some garlic, and now I am glugging up some olive oil. Olive oil and lemon are really 2 of the staples that are in this meal. Now you don't want to, have a little sour taste to it, so we're just going to add a little bit of a splash to this, and then you'll see later that we're just going to need a little bit more. It really should be just a hint of lemon juice. As you just saw, I just added a little bit of water to this to thin it out just a little bit so you can have any consistency that you want. We like ours on the thinner side, so now we're just going to do a little bit of a taste test. Here's a little chef tip, is to take 2 spoons whenever you're taste testing. So you see that I just dipped 1 in, and then I'm just serving it on another spoon. That way you don't end up using so many spoons when you're taste testing. You have 1 that you're just gonna kind of dollop onto the spoon that you're tasting, and then you can just keep using those over and over again without having to worry about washing so much. So all right, so it looks like we need a little bit more olive oil to it. That'll help to thin it out as well, and then also enhance the flavor, and then a little bit of lemon juice. Again, you just want this to have just a hint of lemon, not actually taste like you are eating lemon juice. We'll blend it up and we're done. Some of the more traditional ways that I've seen this make, they actually, after they boil them, they separate the skins from the chickpeas.
That's tedious.
That's a little more than I want to do.
I mean, if you've got like a whole factory working, then like
Get your spoon.
you got just like,
No, I put it in.
I mean, you got just robots just shaving them down.
Mom, Mom, can I just have a little bit this time? Because there's a lot of,
Yeah.
there's like a big spoon.
So after you take them out of the pot, then you stick them in a cold water bath and the skins come off. But I don't want to do that. That's good?
Yeah.
Yeah. Here, actually, you can put that one. I'm done with that. Great. Done. All right. So I'm gonna get this guy out of the way, and now we're gonna start making the loaded part of our hummus. Kind of like a 7-layer dip, but it's more of a Mediterranean style. So I'm gonna put some red onion in here. Then I'm also going to put our Kalamata olives, feta, and I don't have red peppers today, but usually I'd have red peppers because that would have made total sense to go to the grocery store today and get red peppers, right? Right.
I thought you went to grocery store.
I did.
Isn't there a way to blur like only our faces? Because whenever you blurred at 3, I remember you said that it was like a square. And in some of the Lego videos, these guys don't want their faces to be shown. I remember it was only just like a circle around their head.
They have another program that Daddy actually has, and so I could probably do that, but I just don't. What?
But we gotta get this.
You what?
Because Corbin was slowly dragging it around the table. As I said, Mom, we thought you could edit this.
So you're like, suck.
Alright, let's get some, I don't know that. Can you see that? Can you see that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna chop up some parsley right now so that way I can sprinkle that on, and then I need to do the feta. So I go back and forth between dairy-free and regular. If it's really, really good quality, then I'll get it. I just grabbed this today because my husband and I can't have a lot of dairy anymore. Messes with our digestive system. And so this Follow Your Heart is one of the best versions that I've seen out there for dairy-free products. There are other products out there that we've tried and I'm like, ugh, this is gross. But this actually tastes like feta, it's creamy like feta, and so this is just what I grabbed today while I was at the store. So I am gonna sprinkle a little bit of this in. It does, so you can see that it's kind of chunky in some spots and then crumbly in others. So I'll just kind of give it a little shake, and then I'll sprinkle it on top. Then I'll put some red onions on it, and this will be good to go. So that'll be our side number 2 for tonight. And then let me check our bread because we're looking good with this. Okay, we have doubled in size, so we're gonna start, the kids are gonna help me start to form our pita bread. And I did find another way to do pita bread. Instead of doing it on a flat top, I found that the best way to do pita bread, the most time efficient way, is to actually cook it in the oven at 480 degrees for 5 minutes only. So that's what we're going to be doing, because otherwise when I was doing it on the flat top, it was taking a ridiculous amount of time. So doing it in the oven is just fine for the pita bread. For now, I'm just chopping up some parsley and we'll go from there with this little dip.
Chopping parsley is
It is. Oh, and use a bench scraper. Don't use your knife like to scrape it, because then you're kind of ruining your knives. My knives definitely need to be sharpened, but if you use a bench scraper, it will save your knives. So that's a friendly reminder to myself. Let's not do that. Yeah. See, friendly reminder to myself because I was about to scrape it up. Okay. Okay. Whether you're making this for your family or you're making this for guests, do everybody a favor and actually make sure that your parsley is really chopped up fine, because no one wants gigantic pieces of parsley just hanging out of their teeth. That's not good. And if you see a friend who has parsley in their teeth, be a good friend and let them know. That'd be great.
choking on chives. Dog like choking.
Choking on chives? No, Mom making. I'm not doing anything to chives.
Really, it's from the Dude Perfect video. And one of the guys trying to chop his chives small enough.
Yeah.
And one of the guys, I think his name is Corey, like mine.
Yeah.
But he said, "Don't choking on chives."
Okay, that seems like a lot of parsley. It's really not, because look at how much dip I actually have here. Remember, it's 3 cans. All right, we're gonna kind of clean as we go. We're gonna take some of those onions that we used before. This is some of our rest of our shredded cucumber. Just gonna put a little bit in here because, well, no one wants to stink of onions either, right? Okay. That. All right, we're gonna shake this up. Remember, we got a lot of different textures that are in here. Pretty much use this whole container between the tzatziki sauce and that, but here's our dip. Can you see it, Corey? Can you see it on there? We're gonna clear all this to the side because the next thing that we need to do is start to form up. We need to do a second rise on our pita bread. That's really important for pita bread. Really, they get 2.5 rises. So we did our first rise. I have a bread proofer oven, which is very helpful. And so it takes a fraction of the time. So let's just kind of scoop this stuff out of the way. I don't know where the olives went. That's fine. Okay. We're gonna scoop
They all
this.
just left the chat.
They did. All right.
Woo-hoo.
Gonna take a little light here, and we're gonna start putting our patties together for our chicken patties. So you'll see that I have sausage and I have ground chicken. The inspiration for this dinner was I found it in my freezer. So I had this ground chicken. Ground chicken is so dry. You really can't make a chicken loaf or a meatloaf out of it. If you do, the outsides are gonna be fine, the insides, there's just not enough fat. And well, we need fat for meals that we have, and then we also need fat for our brains and our bodies. So what I did find else in the freezer is this spinach feta sausage. And so this looks really good. I'm gonna take the meat out of the casings, I'm gonna take my rings off, and I'm gonna split the casings, then put the meat from the casings with this chicken. Okay. So now let's split this here.
Why are you taking the meat out of the casings?
Because I don't want the actual casings. Yeah, I just want see how it's split right here? So I think, yeah, I can just kind of look. There we go. So we can give the casings to the chickens too. They'll eat it.
So they eat the casings?
Oh yeah, they'll eat everything. So this is really, really simple to do. So little gross, I probably could use gloves, but this works. I don't have gloves that actually properly fit, so this will do. And it's fast.
I like sausage with the casings only part like matted, so you can't like cut those.
Cool.
Do you want me to place this in front of you, or?
I don't need it just yet. But you can put it next to her over there. Yeah. Yeah.
Are you gonna need it?
I might.
We could use it. Oh wait, we could
Huh.
use it as a. I don't know if it's better or worse, but we could use it to roll out the pitas.
Well, you know what? Actually, we can use it to put the pitas on when they're done.
Okay.
How
And
about
let
that?
them just sit.
Yeah, and they can, as long as that's dry.
Right.
Yeah.
It's pretty raw. It smells like it dries pretty well.
Does it?
Like
Well, it is bamboo. I can't touch it right now, but so just let it sit. All right, you want to get me an egg, and you know what? Get the Greek yogurt. Get the Greek yogurt back out.
touch that, Sally. It'll burn you.
'Tis the season when chickens actually stop laying eggs, or they significantly lower in eggs. Usually our chickens lay about 30 a day, but that's not happening right now. So
One a day.
yeah, one per day. Wash my hands. All right, I did saute up some onions, so I'm gonna go ahead and add some sauteed onions in here. We are out of our garden onions, so next year we need to plant more. What didn't help also was the weather, so. All right, we're gonna mix this up. I really don't need to add any seasonings to it because a lot of the seasonings are in those sausages. I'm gonna add just a little bit of Greek yogurt. This mixture is going to just sit in here for now. What I think I wanna do is, I think I'm just gonna cook these on the foreman because then I can get more done, or I'll put them in one of my little skillets with a little bit of butter. I wanted to show you the rice. Here's our rice for this evening. So I have all those bins, but honestly, this tastes really good and it's what we have every single time that I make Greek food. So here we go. One other thing that we need to do is get our pita bread formed into balls, and then we'll go roll it out. So let's go. Okay.
I might even come off, but
All right, so you just need a little bit, honey. But you just need a little bit.
I want hot.
Okay.
Oh my, that's fly. What can I
Here,
do?
this is gonna go over here now. Okay. This we're gonna divide out.
Oh, Mama, can I eat those? If I eat them?
Go.
Is pita bread just regular bread, except it's just made different? Like it's just like formed different?
Uh-huh. And you do different rises with it. Hey Sally, hold on.
So you're
You can
gonna
start.
make...
So hey, balls.
Yeah.
And then I'm gonna stick it back in the oven.
I won't do it.
You wanna do it?
you know, I should probably.
Like, I
It's
got.
too crowded here and the camera's right there.
It's not too bad.
I
Come on, come on.
think
We have all of our dough divided now, and so we are forming them into balls. What I like doing is I like starting with the corner of the dough that I have and then kind of rolling it, and then I'll fold it in on itself from say like 9 o'clock and 3 o'clock. I'll fold those in, and then I'll do 12 and 6. I'll fold those in, and then I'll pinch the bottom. And that is what I found the best way to make our little dough balls. So here we are, and my son is placing them nicey nice so that they don't touch each other. So that's great, because you really don't want the dough balls for this to go into each other.
Bottom.
Mm-hmm. Following my procedural cooking, the next step is going to be our rice. Now for today, because of time's sake, sometimes you just need to do that. You need to use just some boxed rice. I like melting the butter, no matter if I'm using boxed rice or actually cooking it regular. What I'll do is I'll melt the butter, and then I'll put my rice and all of my seasonings in first. So I like kind of toasting up the rice. You don't want to burn the rice, but what you want is for the first thing that the rice to absorb is going to be the butter and the seasoning. I found that way to be the best to get the best flavor out of your rice. Again, no matter if you're doing it regular out of the bins that I have with fresh rice, or if you're using a boxed mix. One of our final steps of the prep is actually going to be to roll out our dough. So you see that I have my mat that's here, and I've already started to roll out some of them. These are going to be about 6 inches long. So you want to go on opposite side, opposite side, opposite side, opposite side, and then you're going to let them rest. Now, resting doesn't mean that we're going to do a full-on rise again. Resting just means you're putting it to the side and finishing rolling out all of the dough balls. By doing this, this is going to allow for this little mini rise that's going to happen, and it's going to promote the pita pocket that you want for your Greek food. If you don't do this, it's not a big deal. It's just, you're just not going to have that pita pocket that you're really looking for.
Eyes just got really big.
What's that one?
Let's see like this. I don't know where to tie this.
It goes around your waist.
Well, I know, but like here?
No.
Here.
Yeah, right there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Alright.
Hey.
This is the last stage of our Greek dinner, which is to make these little chicken patties. So I've done this one of two ways. I've cooked it just on the George Foreman, or I've cooked it in a skillet, or I've even marinated chicken with lemon and olive juice for quite a long period of time, like 24 to 36 hours. But today we are doing this in a much faster way. I'm just going to use the George Foreman, and we don't have to worry about losing any moisture content. So then, our chicken patties are going to be really dry, because remember that we added that sausage, which is going to increase the fat content in it. And then I also added the Greek yogurt too. And there is our pita bread. So these actually went in 480 degrees for 7 minutes, and that was perfect. I'm gonna take them out and put another load on. Here is our completed dinner, starting off with our chicken patties. Then here is our delicious fluffy rice with a little sprinkle of parsley on top. Then our loaded hummus, which is absolutely delicious. And the completed dinner. So thank you so much for watching, everybody. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, and I will catch you in the next video. Thank you so much for watching. Take care. God bless you.